I'm so glad we've had this time together. I couldn't help myself, everybody. Hello, beautiful souls. This is the Soul View, and I'm Cindy Kabika with co-hosts Lorelei Robbins and Shivani Ganel and Ferris Poole, who is the producer and sometimes co-host. And, we are going through some changes right now, and it's because of the Mercury retrograde. For the last 8 months, we have really focused on what's going on in the news and looking at it from a soul perspective. Well, now, because of the retrograde, we decided it's time to regroup. We want to make some changes with the show. We're coming back in January, but we have some very specific things that we want to do because the retrograde, of course, is a time to revamp, rethink, re-examine, reorganize, rewrite in my case, because I'm going to be focusing my attention, refocusing all of my attention on finishing the book that I started at the beginning of the year and getting it to the publisher. And so I decided it's time to refocus my attention on that book. And it's roughed in, 3/4 of it is roughed in. And so it's time to rewrite a lot of it as well and reconnect my energy to the divine purpose that I was given here in writing this book. And it was a divine appointment. And so I take those things very seriously. And Lorelei, Ferris, and Shivani are all going to share what they're going to be doing during this time. But before that, I want to go ahead and bring on Lorelei. And Lorelei, why don't you tell us about the cosmic weather right now?
Wow, what a week this week, because tomorrow, Mars, the planet that drives us, the planet of passion and desire and what propels us forward, is going to flow into Pisces until I think it's January 3rd, basically. Well, that's the last sign of the zodiac. And so here's the planet of action in this adaptable, it will be the adaptable water sign of Pisces, which is dreamy, inspired, imaginative, but it's not a get up and go, wow, I'm going to make this happen. So it happens to be the holidays, which is kind of cool because people can give themselves permission, even though this could be happening in July, but it's happening now, to really have as much unstructure as possible, because the opportunity to connect back in to the divine purpose for anything, like, what is really inspiring me? So it's not a driven energy, it's an energy, as I've been saying, like we have whitewater here in Atlanta, it's to do the lazy river, where you're in the tube and you're just floating around and being open to the inspiration. And then, of course, Mercury retrograde. It's so funny. Friday, Venus goes direct. So the planet of what we love, what we value, what brings us pleasure moves forward. So we can get some clarity on all of that in terms of what is it that really speaks to my heart. And then Mercury retrogrades, most of it in Sagittarius, then into Scorpio. But again, an opportunity to reconnect to our own inner wisdom. Sagittarius and Pisces are the two most spiritual signs in the zodiac. So I think, whatever connects people into the divine, whether it's music or it's sleeping or it's taking a bath or it's going to the ocean or it's reading inspired material or, whatever that, going to a church service, whatever that is, it's like the growth won't be real clear perhaps, but it will certainly come from a very inspired place. But if folks are going to do that, got to make this happen by the end of the year, it's probably going to be a bit more challenging for them. It's probably going to feel more like pushing rocks uphill. So this would really be a time for everybody to let themselves tune into the inner voice, which is the voice of the divine, the voice of the soul.
I think that's beautiful. And like you said before, you don't necessarily have to have a driven project that you're doing. I have something very specific, but I've been working on it on and off and on and off and on and off for months. And it's time for me to bring all the pieces together in a flowing, just let it flow sort of way, so that by the time we come out of the retrograde, then, my rewrites, the initial rewrites are going to be done. We'll flesh it out a little bit more, and then we can really move it on from there.
Well,
So
and it's such perfect timing for you because you are a Pisces.
yeah.
So here's now the planet of action and drive and desire coming to your sun. So it's really an opportunity to become one with what you're passionate about. So that's
And what you were saying before, which I really love, you said surrender and trust. And by the way, I have to show you guys this. This happens to be, I have a notebook that I've been using since we started this. It's the last page. I went to write and I went, it's the last page? Really? So it feels serendipitous. We are going to be starting anew at revamping things a little bit and revisiting it in January.
Yeah. When Mars goes into Aries, which is like, that's Mars's favorite sign to be in.
Yeah, that's cool. So I want to go ahead and, I want all of you to be thinking about what you're going to be doing, because this is a time, once again, when it's a time to visit all those words. So reevaluate your passion projects. What do you have? What is it that you have wanted to do? I'm a big goal setter for the new year, and I always set my goals at the beginning of the year. Then I look at them again on the first day of the second half of the new year. That's what I call it. And then at the end of the year, so that I can wrap things up so I can start the new year anew. And I would love to hear about your passion projects. What are they? What are you going to reconnect to? What are you going to reevaluate? What are you going to reassess? And go ahead and drop it into the chat below or to the side, depending on your technology. And if you're on Facebook, then go ahead and just tell us what you're going to reconnect to. So while we are waiting for you to write in, Lorelei, well, let's start with Shivani. Let's start with Shivani, because you've got all kinds of things that are going on, and you've got some interesting feelings that you feel like you're almost fighting right now as well. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about that?
Yeah, look, I was basically bemoaning my lack of structure and discipline, which, being a Capricorn, is unusual. Because I do want to get things done, but I'm also relaxed and surrendered. And one thing I really want to do is create a group program for my students, because I work basically with women and help them connect with their own guidance so they can trust it in order to do their work, their soul's work here on the planet. And what came up over and over again is I don't feel connected to the universe, and I don't know whether I'm getting guidance. What is it? And I also don't trust it. And I know that if you actually really know this is guidance, and yes, I'm learning to trust it, even if it doesn't make sense necessarily, logically, your life will be infinitely better. And so I am musing and looking at how can I create a group program where I can actually help people with that, how to connect with their guidance, to look at who are your guides, because we each have different guides, and how do you recognize them? Because again, everyone is different. Yeah, some people are auditory, some people feel, some people see, some people just get a flash of inspiration, some people get signs. And yeah, so I'm musing, and obviously need to reconnect with myself to see how can I teach that so people actually have results. Which my project.
Which is certainly perfect timing. You've got 3 planets in Sagittarius, which among other things is the teacher. So here's an opportunity in the retrograde for you to reconnect, exactly what you just said, reconnect to the teacher in you, in terms of that's beautiful. What I love about all of this is while things begin and they end, and there's grief when things end, and there, in other words, there's the endings and the endless cycle of death and rebirth. What's so exciting is that we are all consciously choosing to harness the cosmic weather, the energies, and our own internal guidance to allow whatever's next. And that's the point. When something goes into Pisces, you really want to put the least amount of structure on that piece, you know, in terms of, because, you know, you're wandering somewhere and all of a sudden an idea comes, you know, you're driving in the car, taking a shower, you know, and so, so for all of us, I'm speaking to all of us four and all of us, the more we can allow the room for that. So that's why I always say unstructured time, the more, even if it's, you know, 20 minutes at a time. I mean, I love it when it's a whole day or when it's a day and a half or when it's, but my point is just even in, you know, 15 minutes of unstructured time, that can be delicious and rich. So that's what I'm sort of sending the energy for everybody on the planet, you know, to allow more sleep, naps, escape, you know, to, you know, I'm going into my room now or whatever it is. You know? I'm going into the bathtub. I'm going into the shower.
Yeah. So I understand now, because the Capricorn part was, because I mean, it's a real wish. I want to revisit all my training in the Akashic Records. And so, you know, the structured part goes, righto, I'm up at 5:30 anyway. There's no reason I can't just, for an hour or so every day from 7 till 8, I listen to the training I have.
Well, that's a perfect thing for you to be doing.
But I'm not doing it.
But remember, you're not just a Capricorn. You're born with Saturn next to the sun. You have the planet of discipline next to the sun. So, I mean, when you choose, when you've harnessed your roaming the planet energy, you know, and your wise teacher energy, when you know, and it's like the Capricorn gives that a structure, you know, but there's no question. You could easily rebel against yourself. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Just the very thing that I think I should do, I'm not doing it. I'm rebelling.
That's right. It was not even a should. It's like, I really want to. And then it's like, something else.
I have had those days. And, you know,
welcome to my world.
And I can vouch for that. My day is somewhat structured and will remain that way because I have these puppies. So as soon as I get up, it's potty time, then food time, and well, it's training time. I don't feed them before I train them because they're hungry. It's very easy to train them first thing in the morning. So I do 15 minutes of training every single morning. Then I give them their food and run them around a little bit, play football with them, whatever they want to play.
That's another thing I'm striving for. I managed one day where I trained, 2 days where I trained him in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
It's automatic because they, you know, I've got this 35-pound puppy, and then I've got, yours is already 45 pounds, but mine's 35. And then I've got this 3.5-pound puppy, and they both come and they sit right in front of me, and she sits almost right under him. And it is the funniest thing. And so it just starts your day with a smile. And so, you know, it's structured, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like play, Lorelei. You know, it feels very playful because they're in that mode.
Right.
And
it's like puppy base camp, and the cat is the assistant drill instructor.
and she is, and it's funny, I'll say sit, and all three of them will sit because Gracie's always up on the counter up here, and she sits and the two dogs sit, and it's just playtime. So I would suggest doing that because it feels like when you start off with something that's a little structured in the morning, at least for me, then it feels like my day goes more smoothly. Like I've accomplished something. So even if I decide, you know, I'm just going to chill and not do anything for the next hour or so, I've accomplished something already. So it just feels better for me.
You know what's so funny? Have you ever wondered, Shivani, where that really disciplined side of Cindy is in her chart? You know, that she gets up in the morning or whatever that is. I
know her divine gift is divine power, and that would be it. You know?
Well, that would be the Scorpio. But her Saturn, her planet of, your planet, Cindy, of reality, responsibility, is in the first house. It's very close to the front door of your life. So it's in Sagittarius. So there's an adventure about the structure, but there's a discipline that you have that many Pisces don't have. That's because Pisces is not about discipline. Capricorn and Saturn are about discipline. So I'm marveling about when you just said that again, and you said, and it feels good to me when I accomplish something. There's the Saturn. Pisces doesn't give a shit about accomplishing anything. Pardon my French. Not about accomplishment.
Okay, how many other Pisces do we have out there?
Some more Pisces in the morning. Like the structure is that I make myself a cup of coffee. I sit on the back veranda, which is beautiful because all the birds are around me, and Akash is on my lap, and we cuddle. Forget about training.
He's got you trained.
Yeah.
And that's part of the whole thing is they've got to let me have my coffee.
Well, and the
apple cider vinegar and lemon first, and then
yeah.
So I do have a morning thing, but that's also, even though it doesn't feel structured, it's something to relax and ease into your day. For me, you're right, Lorelei. I kind of laugh my way into it. It's fun. It's playful. It's, it's adventuresome. Because
I was just going to say it's an adventure. I was just going to say that word.
Yep. It's an adventure. And what are they going to learn today or not?
Yeah.
What am I going to learn about me? How many deep breaths am I going to have to take?
Well, Sagittarius is the coach, among other things, the coach. So you have Saturn, that's your dharma, is to be the coach, the teacher, the salesman, the truth seeker, the philosopher. I mean, those are all Sagittarian constructs. So yeah, so that it's like the structure with humor, in other words, and the adventure of it. So that's pretty cool. But I do often marvel at your level and where it plays out of discipline.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from.
Well, I do.
It's not always there. Believe me, everybody. I also get the screw-its. Just like everybody else. Some days I just get up and say, screw it today. I'm going to go do my toenails. Or something. I don't feel like doing anything. So I have my days like that too. But for the most part, and it could be that, I'm an athlete, so maybe it's the athletic training as well.
Sag is the athlete, yeah.
Oh, okay, Sag is the athlete.
Yeah.
And so is Gary. He's an athlete too.
And he's the Sag.
Yep, he's a Sag, and we do those things together.
Yeah.
Well, talking about morning structure.
Yes, you have one?
Ferris?
I have a morning unstructured that I have discovered. Cindy, who was it that said, or maybe it was somebody that told Little Ferris. Little Ferris is my son. Don't watch the news 1 hour before bed and 1 hour after you get up. And I did that last night and this morning. And although it was a struggle, it felt great.
So you mean you watch the news the first hour and then you watch it before you? No. But you did?
I did not.
Oh.
Right, but you're saying you usually do.
Yeah, I usually check the news early. I waited at least an hour. Actually, I wound up waiting 2 hours because it felt good.
Wow.
And with all the crap that's going on right now, especially politically, the news is just irritating.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. It felt good. I challenge y'all to try that.
I don't have to.
I don't have that.
I'm talking
watch
to
the
everybody.
Puppy videos.
The audience,
instead.
I'm talking to everybody that's watching. Yeah, watch cat videos instead, not puppy videos.
Well,
boring.
I'm watching puppy training videos. I've had my shoulder dislocated twice now. I was able to pull it back in place myself the other night.
I shut up when I heard about it.
Yeah, just off the off the front porch.
Wow.
But during this, reconnecting with the playful child within myself during this as well, and just engaging with these puppies in a fun way instead of because I do have this grand sense of order, or discipline, and I want them to get it right now, and that's not the way that they do it. And I find myself getting frustrated, and I have to back up and say, no, we'll do it your way and make it fun.
Well, and I'm just thinking, I wonder what that's going to look like in training an animal, Mars going into Pisces, because Pisces would say, I just want to chill, I want to flow. No, it'll be interesting to see if they're either less disciplined, or it's harder to corral them, or they're inspired to obey your command. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. It'll be interesting to see, because animals, of course, are so pure in their expression. They don't have ego. They don't have stuff in the way. So, and like when the moon's in Cancer, my cats are together. They're like on top of each other. It's so Cancer. And I'll forget, and then I'll go, oh my God, no wonder. Look at that. They just want to be, or they're with me more, because the Cancer energy. So just be interesting to see if there's any shift in your way of doing what you do, or their response to you, or they don't want to be bothered. They just,
I'll certainly let you know.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear.
Yeah. So what are you going to work on, Lorelei?
I'm not. That's just it. I am really going to allow. So, because for me, the fact that we won't be doing the show for a while, that frees up a night, so I go, I wonder what Wednesday night's going to look like. There's a service at Unity that happens on Wednesdays, but I'm just, honestly, I am enjoying the idea of reclaiming some time, more, in other words, unstructured time. Like all of a sudden, Wednesday night at 7 won't be the Soul View for now. And so I'm really going to allow myself to do the lazy river thing. I mean, just in my mind, I'm going to take a Epsom, it's getting cold now. I'm going to take an Epsom salts bath every day. That's going to be part of my Mars and Pisces. So
aren't you supposed to be getting snow too? Did I see that in the weather that Atlanta might be getting snow tomorrow?
Oh, well, that would be cool.
Or this week.
Well, that's really early for us to get snow.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I thought and it changes,
Yeah.
For us in the South, it changes. That the worst job in the world here is to be a weather person, because it changes so fast. It's hardly ever accurate.
Well, and since the cosmic weather will be Mars in Pisces, it'll be interesting to see how circumstances assist individuals in getting that unstructured time that the soul needs. Because, the soul is Pisces. If we're going to pick a sign, I would say Pisces. Sag Pisces would certainly be, but the soul would be Pisces, and so this is about finding the passion in what speaks to the soul, whatever that is, and the things that I just said, for me, they all speak to my soul. I was out it's cold here, but I was out on the porch in the rain with a heater and bundled up, because I wanted to be in the element of, the storm that was going on. So, I had the heater, and that brings me great pleasure. So it'll be interesting to see, what flow means to each of us, because that's what Pisces is about. It's about go with the flow. That's what I put in my constant contact email about this, that, I put 2 different graphics about go with the flow, because that really is part of the Pisces message.
I love that. So Ferris, what are you going to do?
I'm going to be restructured. Well, first of all, there's a book that I'm supposed to be editing hopefully soon.
Yes.
And
the first chapter's done.
Okay, good. And I'm also going to be restructuring, especially technically. I want to get us away from Facebook, probably on YouTube. And I want folks to let us know what they want to see, not only technically, but spiritually as well, from the Soul View in the future. You can put it in the Soul View Facebook group, or even the Energized Living Today Facebook group, or just reply to any of the emails, and I'll get it. That's my biggest challenge.
Yeah, just making sure that we're doing what everybody wants from us.
Yeah.
One thing that we're doing for everyone in doing what we are doing is we are modeling behavior. We are modeling what we want you to do. So when we started talking about this, and I said, I just really want to focus on this book during the retrograde, we just decided this is the time. This is the time to model behavior, model what we are talking about here.
Yeah.
Taking this time to.
And for people some people like you're very focused. There's this project that you want to, complete, take forward. But for those of you who don't, that's cool. That's the point of Pisces. Like, you can be open to inspiration from places that you may be surprised. It's the movie that you watch. I would suggest watching lots of movies, listen to lots of music. These are all Pisces, whatever inspires the soul, certainly, but music is a Pisces thing. Dance, it'll be interesting. Mars in Pisces, forgiveness. Forgiveness is a Pisces construct. Compassion, kindness, to go into the end of the year, and this has been a tough year for a lot of people, and to go into, to complete the year with Mars in Pisces is certainly an opportunity for folks. I'm just thinking this, and this is coming to me right now. Anything that we need to forgive in ourselves and anyone or any situation, certainly to intend that with Mars in Pisces by the end of the year, to really to connect into that place of, oneness. I did the best that I could. I'm who I am today because of, and then the wisdom of Sagittarius, of Mercury and Sag. So yeah, forgiveness. I thought about that today. I wanted to mention that tonight.
Beautiful.
Let me add one other, hold on. Little dizzy spell there,
Got
sorry.
Anybody writing in, so I'll encourage people to actually share.
Let me add one other thing. We will probably in the next month and a half still be posting a few things to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
So watch your email for that, and we'll keep you posted on that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to join to see the YouTube channel.
Right. Now I want to go ahead and go over to Facebook, if I can get there, to our page. Okay. I'm going over here to the page, see if we have any comments. And again, even if you're listening after the fact, please post what it is that you're going to be working on, because we'll have a follow-up call to this in January when Mercury is going direct, when the energy feels right, and we want to hear from you. Let me see the comments here. Okay. I was a cross-country runner. That was just over 50 years ago. Boy, I need a different pair of glasses. I got to lean in to read this. That was over 50 years ago. Now I ride my bicycle around town a lot. I thought yoga, or I taught yoga, for the last 9 months. That was in 1972. Nowadays, I do a little yoga in the classrooms when I can, and let me see, on a model stand when I'm not holding a long pose for a student artist. So, okay, I'm a Pisces too. This is Susan replying here. That was Richard, by the way. And Richard also said, here's one Pisces out here, Cindy. Okay, so there's one. There's one other Pisces. There's a lot of Pisces.
There are a lot of fish in that ocean.
Yes, there are. So that's what they're saying. We really want to know what you're going to be working on. So I love Richard saying, that, he was a runner. He wants to get back into that perhaps. Yoga, that's something I like to really kind of ease into. It's just hard right now because it's hard to do yoga poses when the dogs are licking you in the face. I end up laughing. I just end up on the floor laughing. What is that?
Yeah. Or they climb on you, sit on you.
And they're all over you, and it's so funny. But anyways, it's laughing yoga is what I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely unstructured. So, well, any other?
I had an email coming in.
Okay.
That's like 5, and that's in reply of the Soul View. So Cheryl just wrote, nice, going through some changes, moved to Oregon with my daughter, still have to retrieve my things from my home in California. Car accident totally totaled my car. Have a rental, dealing with lots of changes, but love the souls you have and hope to be one of you, my ladies. Must go, time is pressing. Take care. That's from Cheryl. Yeah. And we have nothing on Zoom. No comment.
No comment so far. We really want to hear from you. And again, this is, there's times when we do need to just step back and just kind of take a broader, relaxed view of everything that's going on. And that's even what I'm doing with this book. Just stepping back from it and just kind of looking at it with broader strokes as I, fill in some details, but it's just kind of a broad look at the whole thing from beginning to end. When you write, it's kind of, it's kind of a relaxed or intense thing anyway, when you're trying to put in all the details and the right words and the, the right commas and all the stuff that I hate to do, all the grammar and everything else. But that's fair society. But it can be intense. So just backing up from that and just kind of looking at it as a whole is kind of nice.
Well, and we're such a culture and a society of go, do, fill every minute of time with something. I mean, our poor children, they go to this activity and that activity and that activity. I mean, that's all well, it's like breathing time, unstructured time just to allow, the connection between to the self. So again, like everything else, I believe all things work together for good. So the fact that we go into the end of the year with Mars in Pisces, I think there can be some, just because so many people are tuned into the end of the year, and releasing, to really let go and forgive perhaps once and for all what has not been forgiven. And of course, all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. And I just think Ho'oponopono when I say this.
Yeah.
But there are no accidents to me why the planets are where they are and which direction they're going in. It's there for all of us to avail ourselves of the gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, for me, the weather is actually helping too, because being in far north Queensland in Australia, we are moving into summer.
Yeah.
And especially where we are basically at the moment getting hotter and hotter till we wait for the rainy season. So it breaks a little bit of the being so hot. But basically everything slows down because it's too hot, too humid. Yeah. And usually our Christmas is spent in the pool.
Oh, wow.
That's wild.
I'll be right there. Let me look at my calendar.
That's right.
Christmas.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some comments that just came in.
Oh, yeah. Penny, I'm Pisces with Gemini, Sag, and Cancer Moon. With hoping to use the Mars transit to finally get off my butt and past my mental blocks to finally put an income-producing business project into action. Okay, Gemini ascending. That's now what I've got. Okay. Pisces with Gemini ascendant and Cancer Moon.
Cancer Moon. Well, I mean, talk about allowing, allowing oneself to surrender to the energy, So I don't know that your Cancer moon and your Pisces sun really respond well to telling you to get off your butt.
But she said get
That's
off her.
pretty harsh for those two water signs. You must have other stuff that, that's what's so beautiful. We all speak we all speak our characters. So something that's telling you to get off your butt sounds like she must have some Capricorn or a heavy Saturn or something, but believe me, that gentleness, that Cancer moon and Pisces sun, just, like if you need to get off your butt, like I would suggest languaging it in a more gentle way.
She did. She said, get off my butts.
Oh, get off my butts.
Yes.
Oh, okay, get off my butts. I thought you said get off her butt.
Oh, I thought butts. Sorry, I misread that.
Get off her butts. Okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love that because it's a but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Carolyn, she's asking how my walks with Akash are going. I've actually written you an email, so look out for the email. But the answer is really, really well. He's a changed dog. And
I got to see him last night again. I just love him. He's so precious. I can't wait for Trooper and him to meet someday. I just believe it's going to happen.
They can meet on Zoom.
Yeah, they have already.
They have on Facebook. Yeah, they're Facebook buddy. I'm not Facebook. Skype.
Skype.
Yeah. Skype buddies. And Gidget too.
So the advice from Penny is don't be a butt's head.
Don't be a butt's head.
That's good because that's what we do. But.
Mm-hmm.
And Penny, I am personally a really big fan of getting a coach. Like I've still got a coach. It's because quite often a income producing business is a big project. I think it's fantastic knowing you have somebody in your corner, somebody who keeps you responsible, somebody who helps you over the challenges and gives you techniques. So I would look into possible coaching. For me, it would be impossible to have started my online business without a coach.
I think that's wonderful because I think of it like I can go and watch lots and lots of dog training videos, which I have, but I need that one-on-one time with somebody that can see things that I don't see that I'm doing wrong, that are affecting my success in training. Yeah. It's absolutely invaluable.
And give you feedback.
And he gives me feedback. Matt is amazing. Yeah. And he comes to me and I get to do all the training in my environment. So that's
really cool.
Yeah. Really, really valuable.
I'm driving almost 3 hours round trip just to get 1 hour a week coaching in with Akash.
Wow.
But it's worth it. Because as they said the other day, your dog doesn't really need training. You do. I'm going, okay.
That's true. That is true. Okay, I think we've got another comment over there. And Ferris, can you say the Facebook? I can't, it's such a distance away. I'm having a hard time seeing.
For some reason, I'm holding my mouth wrong or something, and I can never see the comments.
Oh, Anne says, love sleeping and being versus doing. Cancer with rising Aries and Aquarius moon. Good for you. Because again, Aries rising, those are two very different energies. So love, because it's both and, because I would imagine you're a doer with Aries rising, but really honoring that the Cancer sun, which is not about doing.
And I love to hear that too, Anne, because I know that you've had some health challenges. So, knowing that this is a time that you're going to take to just be, I think is a really important when you're moving past something like that. So.
Well, you want to put your try that again. Quite often when you're sick, your nervous system is what we would call fight flight.
Mhm.
So unless you address that and your nervous system calms down, you can't really heal.
Yeah.
Very
Well, and to be a Cancer with Aries, it's like, it's be do. It's exactly a be do, be do, be do, be do, be, being and doing. Cancer is about being and being receptive, and Aries is go, go, go. So Anne could certainly fight herself, like not let herself be, but you're wired for both, Anne.
And I got to Facebook.
Oh, did you get it? Okay.
Yeah, finally. Richard said also there's some dead wood around the property where I live that could use my attention. And excuse me, y'all, just 1 second. I do want
you went catatonic for a moment.
Yeah, I went catatonic. Oh, boy.
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
Sorry. I do want to clean it up and get it organized. I'm a Pisces with my moon in Capricorn, by the way. My room could use a good amount of cleaning also. Welcome to my world. Too many old newspapers around, citrus on trees and getting ripe. Soon I'll have homegrown oranges and grapefruit. Oh, Richard, man.
I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
And Melissa wrote in, she said, as a professional dog trainer, yes to one-on-one, my specialty, but I love classes. And
the classes have been great for distraction when there's other puppies, but I like that one-on-one time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Anne basically says you probably mixed her up with another Anne, so it sounds like she hasn't got any health challenges. Even better.
Oh, good. I was thinking that you had done something to your foot is what I was thinking, or to your knee. Okay, that's what I was talking about. So let me know. I could have sworn that was
a while back.
Yeah, that was a while back, but it took a long time for it to heal.
Okay, here's a question for you, Lorelei. Is it okay to try? Let me try that again. Is it okay to try to get new customers during Mercury in retrograde? I'm an animal portrait artist, and I want to try to get more clients in at this time, but not sure about MIG. Mercury in retrograde. What is it?
A good way to use that would be to contact people that you already know. Mm-hmm. People that might have been interested at one time, or people that you already know in your world, reconnecting with them. In terms of brand new clients, again, I'm not saying you can't get clients during Mercury retrograde. That would be stupid and totally irresponsible of me. But people are distracted during Mercury retrograde there. And again, we're having this Mercury retrograde, the Thanksgiving into the early part of December. So people are distracted. They feel this energy of not wanting to add things to their plate. But if you reconnect with people that you know, like even people that are friends and you for people they may know, that would be a great because I used to have a personnel business, and when Mercury was retrograde, that's what I would do. I would recontact old clients. Or people that are already in your world, it'll be easier probably to get in touch with them. Because what the typical thing that can happen during a retrograde, and it doesn't always happen, but it's you call someone and they don't call you back for a week or a week and a half or even 2 weeks, and you go, and then depending on how personally one takes things, which has been something that's been a lesson for me my whole life, they're not calling me back. Well, again, like I said, people are very sensitive to, there's something else I have to do during a retrograde. Because it's like you'll feel the desire to pull back. Whether you allow yourself to do that or not is another, I don't just mean you, I'm talking about everybody. Whether we allow ourselves to do that is another issue. But that's the feeling that we will have, is that, gee, I don't really want to add more things. I want to examine what's already there.
Mm-hmm. I so get that. And did you see or read Susan's already over here? I'm a Pisces sun, first house. Did we do that already? Moon in Scorpio, 8th house, rising Aquarius. Whoops, where did it go? It just disappeared. Okay, it just disappeared. Can somebody find that? I'm trying to find it. This is always a challenge for us to be able to look at that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm not able to find it. For some reason, it went away.
So
I don't know how to make it come back. So I'm very sorry about that. Ferris, I don't know if you can go in there and if you can see that comment from Susan. Susan Aram. Not sure where it flew away. So if you happen to find it, Ferris, let us know.
Okay, got it.
Okay, what was it now?
She said, thanks, Lorelei. So very true. Call someone today. Dadgummit, it just moved again.
I know, it keeps moving.
Call someone today I had not spoken to in 1.5 years. She's in Florida with me here in Canada. Great points. Thank you.
Good, great. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's the reconnection with people from the past is terrific. You know, it's like the conversations are rich, not just sales conversations, but the conversations are rich because, again, one's in an energy of being more receptive than we might be at other times. Mm-hmm. That's another Mercury retrograde. It's more, we're more receptive to information coming in.
Love that. So would it be a good time to read, to take classes,
It's a great time to read stuff you've read before. Like for you to go back over because what you read sinks in at a deeper level. I mean, you can, something, you know, the old book falls off the shelf thing and you open it up, but you might find, I'm talking you, all of us, we could find ourselves reading a paragraph like 3 times because you read it and you go, God, I didn't get that out of it the first time I read it. So it can be rich. I mean, it can be so rich where you go, I can't believe that. I'm so glad my computer crashed for a half hour so I could be redirected to read this thing, right? Because that's what happens, you know. Something will happen often with technology, and I believe that's my own personal thing. It's the universe's way of getting us to stop. You know, it's like, okay, I'm not supposed to be making the phone call now, or I'm not supposed to be going to that website because I can't seem to get there. And it's being, you know, that's the old, you know, flexibility is the hallmark of mental health. Always, but certainly during a Mercury retrograde for sure.
Yeah.
My electricity went off for an hour, and of course I can't do any work. I was like, okay, let's do some painting because I'm remodeling my back veranda, and it was
which looks gorgeous.
Yeah, well, no, at the moment it's still chaos. Still look gorgeous.
I have good vision.
Yeah.
I can envision it. Okay, we have one more comment, Anne.
Emotions are area that gives me biggest challenge. Happy days and others when just want to leave and go floating clouds. Letting go of shoulds and should nots. Thought had stopped shoulding on myself, but to my surprise found I've built whole life around the lie that I should always be happy and should never be unhappy. Keep chasing happiness out there. Good on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a misconception.
Totally.
It's like always having the light on.
Right.
You know, sometimes
it's like if you're spiritual, you shouldn't be angry, right? I mean,
contrast.
Not true.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that because I have a new client who actually, in her Dare to Dream answers, said she was actually angry at herself because she wasn't happy. So she was adding, adding the judgment and anger to the fact that she wasn't happy.
Double whammy. I know.
Yeah.
So if she's unhappy, is she going to be happy with herself?
But I mean, just the being pissed that she's unhappy.
Yeah.
So we sort of unpack that. before we did anything else.
Yeah.
So is that also a good thing to work on during the retrograde, Laura?
Well, it's certainly to work on the love of self in the being pissed at yourself that you're not happy. You know, it's sort of like buying into society's you should be happy if, and then someone, quote, is not happy. But of course, again, Venus retrograde, the happiness is in here. So I would suggest that all of us intend to connect to some inner happiness quotient or factor with Venus still retrograde, like that it's here, not about you make me happy, you make me happy, you make me happy, I make me happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Well, this has been so much fun. I'm grateful for this opportunity to take this little break, because again, I've got something that I just want to revisit, reconnect with, and it is a connection. The cool thing about writing is, you know, each book has its own personality and it tells you what it wants to be. And so you're connecting into that energy, which to me is alive. And people think you're just sitting at a computer knocking out words all the time, and that's not it. Writing is thinking. So you can go for walks, you can be in nature, it can be very casual. You know, when I'm playing with the puppies and the kitties, and I've got a kitty outside my door right now too, and you know, and these thoughts just pop in that I go, oh, I never thought of that before. Bed, Bath, and Busy. We've talked about that before. That's when those great ideas come in that you can just, you know, after you're done, just
that's right. Bed, Bath, and Busy. That's absolutely true.
Yep. That's when your best ideas come. So that is a great retrograde for me thing to do, because just go do whatever, you know, go have fun. And those ideas are going to start coming in because you're relaxed. You're in a more relaxed state.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I was thinking earlier this morning, if Plato had a shower in his house, there's no telling what he could have come up with. He could have been famous.
Ferris, you missed your calling.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, fun. Oh, fun. My Pisces sun, 9 degree, 10th house, and Mercury, 6 degree, 10th house would transit Mars motivate or stress me? Okay.
Well, that's a good question. Would it motivate or stress me? Because, let's see.
Oh, with the business. She added.
Motivate or stress me with the business.
Oh.
No, she just added it.
Motivate or stress. Well, again, it will energize you. Let's put it that way. You know, it's yours to decide if it's motivating or stressing, right? That's a value judgment. But it will certainly energize, and you can decide, does that motivate and inspire me, or is it stressing me, you know? And again, it may just be that internal connection with yourself. I'm speaking specifically to this person. You know, it may just be getting passionate about what's your whole Pisces thing. It may have nothing to do with the business. It may be an internal place that then, you know, you connect to, that then translates to the business. I don't know the rest of your chart, but certainly reconnecting to your own divine inspiration is certainly what that's about, or the opportunity for that.
She said she was the one that had the Cancer moon in the second house.
She's the double water. She's the double water, the Pisces sun with the Cancer moon. Yeah.
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 So you find yourself just treading water a lot.
Yeah. And I would allow that. I would like bask in that. I would like relish that if I were you. If I were a Pisces with a Cancer moon, that's what I would be. Because like you were saying, the inspiration that you will then take to your business will come during this time.
Absolutely.
And then when Mars goes into Aries, you know, as I said, after the first of the year, what a beautiful opportunity for any of us to initiate something, you know, to initiate the fire, you know, of whatever we're doing.
Well, this has been fabulous. And thank you for your comments, everybody. Continue to write into us, because we are still going to look at all the comments and see what you're working on and what you're rethinking at this time, as we said before. So I thank you so much for being a part of our soul gang here on the Soul View. And we will be back in January. Well, probably before then, because we'll do something to get everybody ready for the new year for sure. And then we want to hear what's going on for you. And love the idea of getting away from Facebook, by the way. Yes, that's something. If people have been saying, how come you're not commenting about stuff? How come you're not posting anything but dog pictures? And I said, dog, motorcycles, and running. I'm putting that and nothing else, because I'm trying not to engage too much, because it's just it sucks your time away. So that's how I'm staying in touch for now, but I'll have more to say later. All right. Well, love you all, and we will be back in January. And until then, know that we love you, and namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, and I send y'all light.